Hello everybody and welcome back to another weekend roundup. This is for the week of February 25th through March 1st. And again, these are all the mods released on the Giants Mod Hub during the week. And let me tell you this week was a massive week for mods compared to previous weeks. The fact that we had 28 mods released this week, 2 maps, and 26 other mods. Let's go ahead and take a look at those here in the Mod Hub. So what we've got is actually the first 4 mods released this week, all the way on page 2. So it is now covering more than one page for this week's mods. We've got an update to Vertex Designs placeable fuel tank. We've got a Joskins slurry spreader. We've got a rear weight for the Krone forage harvesters. We've got the Shrit E303 pack. This was really cool in Farm Sim 17, and I'm really glad to see that make its return. Then we've got a 3-point bale fork. This is for round bales, placeable shelter. We've got the return of the Amazon Pantera 4503 self-propelled sprayer that I believe came in Farm Sim 15 initially, then was a mod for 17, and now is once again a mod for 19. We've got the return of the Print Avalanche 1596 auger wagon from the Big Bud pack in Farm Sim 17. The first map that was released this week was for Giants Island 2019, and I really don't want to get on the Giants bash wagon, but darn it guys, don't make it so easy. If you're running the official release of Giants 1.2.01, which is the official release as of the recording of this video, you will not be able to play this map. Now that is because there is a shader error that comes up if you're running the official release of Farm Sim 2019, and you won't be able to open Giants Island 2019. Apparently, you need to have the beta patch 1.3 in order to play this map. Why on earth and how on earth this map got passed through Giants testing, not working in the official release and only working in the beta release, is beyond me. But if you've tried to download this map and play it, and you're using the standard official release 1.2.01, that's why. Only people that are running the Giants beta 1.3 are going to be able to actually open this. Now we've got a manure fork, looks like. Got what looks like a cultivator. Got another fork. Got a placeable farmhouse. Some more placeable sheds. And we've got actually a plethora. We've got several fences and gates in this week's review. We've got one here by Dorset, and further up we'll have a few more. Got an interesting trailer pack here that I believe was also a mod in 17. Mercury Farms makes its debut this week for all platforms. That is the second map that was released this week. We've got an update to Dorset's water pond. He includes a couple extra sizes this time around. We've got a couple prefabs. Now note, prefabs are not for use in-game. These are not placeables. These have to be inserted into the Giants editor, into a map. So do note, these are not things you download and try to install in the game as a standard placeable, like let's say the shed pack here and the farmhouse. These need to be downloaded and installed using the Giants editor. Then later on in the week, we've got the Agromatics Fertimax. This was a great little mod I enjoyed in Farm Sim 17, and I'm glad to see it return in 19. It is a small pull-behind fertilized spreader, and now I suppose does lime. We'll have to check that out when we get into the actual mod videos. Here is another fence pack and a wall pack. Got another bucket, another silage fork, and another bale fork. And then we round out the week with 2 balers from Giants. We've got the return of the Cunha VB 2190 round baler, and we now have a Massey Ferguson 2270 XD square baler. So, that is a highlight of the 28 mods released this week. 26 are either placeable mods, vehicle mods, equipment mods, or prefabs to our maps. So with that, let's just go ahead and jump on in and start taking a look at some of these. So first up, we're going to take a look at all of the different Giants mods that were released this week. And we're going to start out with the Amazon Pantera 4502. So if we go to the vehicles and we go to crop protection, where is that? Crop protection. We've got the Amazon Pantera 4502 for $245,000. Has a working speed, or has a working speed of 9 miles per hour, a maximum speed of 31 miles per hour, and a storage capacity of 4,500 liters. Now let's take a look and see how it compares to the other two in-game self-propelled sprayers. We've got the Stara Imperador, has a working width of 27 meters, 5,100 liters capacity, and this one also happens to do liquid and solid fertilizer and herbicide. Sorry, had a little bit of a mind break there. It has a working speed of 7 miles per hour. The big boy Rubicon 9000 has a working width of 48 meters, 9,000 liters capacity, and a working speed of 15 miles per hour. So the Pantera is pretty much priced just a little bit more than the Stara. It is a significant price cut over the Rubicon, not quite half, but pretty darn close to half. Now it does store about half the quantity. Runs, interesting enough, a little bit faster than half the speed, but has a working width of 41 meters versus 48. So it is not too shabby of a vehicle and is pretty good in the price point. Now, Star I like because you can just get one sprayer for solid, liquid, and herbicide. This one only does liquid and herbicide, but still is not too bad of a price. There are no configuration options on the sprayer. As I've said, $245,000 to purchase, $12,495 to lease. Of that, it's $2,450 per day and $5,145 per operating hour. Let's go ahead and just take a little bit of a look at it. Surprisingly enough, I didn't really use this too much in Farm Sim 17. I think it came out before I realized, before I really was paying attention to mod releases and such. Quite possibly. Does have four-wheel steer. Can we adjust the driving? We cannot turn off four-wheel steer or enable anything like crab steering or anything like that. Let's go ahead and check out the unfold animations. This thing does have a massive wingspan. It's still not done unfolding. So on big maps, this would be pretty handy for sure. On smaller maps, this might be a bit unruly to manage just because of its large spread there. Just the spray belt bar way down low. Get maximum application R-ray up high for your tall crops like your corn and sugarcane. It's pretty cool. We do have reverse lights. We do have brake lights. Then fold her up. We happen to have a hitch. Curious if that hitch actually works. I don't have enabled any sort of mod that would be like a tanker, but there are tanker mods out there, so you could conceivably haul a tanker of liquid fertilizer to the field with this and use it to fill up. Let's just Let's see here. Let's just get... what should we try? Well, let's get one of these with a ball hitch and one of these that have a ring hitch, and see if we can connect to both. And then this will tell us basically how well that idea will work. So we can connect to the ring hitch. Now let's see if we can connect to the other hitch. Alright, so we cannot, I don't think, we cannot connect to this one, the ball hitch. Yep, we're not getting the connect. But if we do back up to this one, we definitely get the connection. So if the trailer you want to use has a ring hitch connection, then you could use this to haul, additional fertilizer or herbicide to the field, and then refuel this from the field. So that is a pretty cool added capability. Let's go to the shop because I don't know if the others actually have that or not. Take a look at the Rubicon. There is no trailed hitch on the Rubicon. And let's take a look at the Stara. Stara also does not have any sort of a hitch. So I don't recall from the New Holland self-propelled sprayer if it has a hitch or not, but this one definitely does. And that, again, was the Pantera 4502 from Giant Software. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the next mod from Giant Software, and that is a pair of balers. We're going to go ahead and look at the Massey Ferguson 2270 XD. You found over here under Tools, and then Baling Technology. So just as a refresher, we've got the Cunha LSB 1290D in-game square baler for $105,000. And then we've got the Massey Ferguson 2270 XD square baler for $125,000. Has a working speed of 12 miles per hour, 4,000 liter bales, and 200 horsepower. Whereas the Cunha is 140 horsepower, interesting enough, and also 12 miles per hour. So interesting that the Massey Ferguson requires not only more horsepower to pull it, but is also more expensive. There are no configuration options on this particular baler. Let's just go ahead and get it and take a look. It is a big boy, that is for sure. Everything looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and get a tractor out here and just see how everything hooks up to it. Oh, let's get the Fendt. Make sure it's got the power. Yep. Well, you know what? Oh, we already leased it. Like, why are we pulling a Massey Ferguson baler with a Fendt tractor? We should get a Massey Ferguson tractor, shouldn't we? Let's go ahead and hook up to it and just see. Do we get dynamic hoses? We do not. What is up with that? Seriously, what is up with that? We get a PTO hookup, but we do not have hoses. Clearly, we would have hoses to operate these hydraulic cylinders. Unfold it. An interesting unfold animation. Lower it to the ground and let's turn it on. Oh, let's get off here before we get the can't bail here message. Let's pull up here on the pad. Drop it down. You have Lots of interesting animations going on. It's all pretty cool in there. Sake of brevity, I don't think we need to bother with actually going and testing the baler out. Does look pretty sweet. You have brake lights, no reverse lights. You have 4 ways, left and right blinkers, and we also have a beacon. No rear hitch on this particular baler. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the other baler that came out this week. It was the Cunha VB 2190 from Giant Software. Again, let's go to Tools and Baling Technology. And then we've got the Cunha VB 2190, $56,000 to buy, 68 horsepower, 12 miles per hour working speed. And let's compare that to the Roll Belt New Holland, $49,000 to buy, 70 horsepower, and again, 12 miles per hour working speed. So the Cunha is more expensive, requires more horsepower. Am I right? 68 versus 70? No. Basically requires the same level of horsepower, just a little bit more expensive. There are no configuration options on the baler. So let's go ahead and hook up to this one. See if we have dynamic hoses on this one. We do not. Once again, what is up? What is up with this? We have brake lights. We do not have reversing lights. We have 4 ways, left and right blinkers. There is no beacon. Let's go ahead and unfold this. There is no unfold apparently. Let's move it over here and just check out the animations. Interesting animations. Of course, we got the shaking PTO. The belts up on here spin. Doesn't look like the belts spin, but it looks like we may have something else spinning here in the chamber. Let's try to zoom in and see. No, it's just the spinning. There's a spinning shaft that the belts sit on. The belts do not actually rotate. I think it would look a lot better if the belts actually would rotate. So can we unload this without loading a bale into it? No, we cannot. And nope. No rear hitch on this baler either. I do remember a variant, I think, of this mod came out in Farm Sim 17 that had a hitch on the corner. Actually had a hitch over here on this corner, and it was designed that you could hook up a inline bale wrapper. That was a mod. So you could round bale and wrap all in one pass. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the last implement and vehicle mod from Giant Software this week. It is the Print Avalanche 1596 auger wagon. So again, we're going to go to Tools and Auger Wagons. And we've got the big Print Avalanche 1596 from the Big Bud Pack, $118,000, and it holds 53,000 liters, requires 300 horsepower to pull, and holds our standard grain crops with liquid fertilizer, or not liquid, but solid fertilizer and seed as an additional fill types. Now let's compare those to the in-game grain carts. We've got the Kinsey 1051, 37,000 liters for $74,000. We've got the Elmer's Hallmaster, 70,000 liters and $93,000. And then the Avalanche, which is more expensive, and holds 13,000 less liters of product. Interesting enough. But it does require, the Elmer's does require an additional 100 horsepower. Now we do have an option for wheel setup on this. We can go with standard wheels or crawler track. And this is $118,000 to buy, $6,018 to lease, $1,180 per day, and $2,478 per operating hour. Let's go ahead and get one of these. It's interesting to see how the PTO is slung off to the side there. So we've got a nice animation on the jack stand. But again, we are completely missing hose hookups. That was something that was touted Farm Sim 19, and yet so far we have seen 3 Giants mods this week get implemented and released without dynamic hose hookups. Do not have brake lights or reverse lights on this, but we do have 4 ways left and right blinkers. No beacons on this. We do have a cover. It would be nice if we saw an animated cover. I mean, we've got nice animations on other things that unfold. Like, you know, the auger wagon is animated. Just doesn't pop in place. We've got animations when we unfold the baler, when we lower the baler, when we bring a pipe in and out. Yet when we do a tarp, it's just popped on or popped off. It would be nice to see it roll across. Hopefully that's something that can come either in the form of a mod or just come in the way of Farm Sim 21. Now, interesting enough, the rear axles do steer on this. I don't know if they did that in the 17 version or not. Let's take a look. You can see, I'm going to try to get in here and see, you can see this pneumatic cylinder extend and contract. I don't know if I can show that well enough or not. But we can see that pneumatic cylinder extend and contract when we are turning, and it is basically rotating those front and rear wheels to aid in the steering of this particular auger wagon. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and extend the pipe and see if we can raise and lower it. We can indeed. If we left click and move up and down, we move the output spout, and if we go left and right, we move the pipe up and down. It's good to see. I don't think there's much of a need to actually hook this up and fill it and empty it. I mean, it's an auger wagon. You would think that that would work, right? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move this tractor over here out of the way. We're going to clear these. We're going to clear these giant mods out of here and get ready to bring in the next. Okay, next up we have the Shrit E303 pack. This includes a self-propelled mower with a windrower and tedder header option. Go to vehicles, and is it where? Let's see. Is it under mowers? It is indeed under mowers. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Yes, good there. Any rate, this is going to be comparing it to the Krone Big M 450 for $385,000, 449 horsepower, 9.9 meter working width, and a 15 miles per hour working speed, and a top speed of 24 miles per hour. Now, for a mere $105,000, you can get the E303, 18 miles per hour top speed, 80 total horsepower. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Not a bad little unit. I've always been a little, had a little spot in my heart, you could say, for these little self-propelled mowers. I thought the one in the Massey Ferguson pack from Black Sheep Modding was really great, and really wished we saw more of these come out. I believe this particular model came out fairly late in the Farm Sim 17 lifespan, and I'm glad to see it show up here early on in Farm Sim 19. And this is by AAA Modding, so we do have a choice of rim color between white, what I guess is cream, and I guess that is a mustard yellow color. And then we have configuration as standard, E303 brown with that's the one with the cool reflective cover. If you remember, we've had the smaller 4-shit tractors in a previous week. We got the E03 green and white, and back to standard. So let's go with this one, and let's go with the cream color. I think that looks like pretty cool. Go ahead and get that. And let's go back to standard, and we'll talk about leasing price here. So as I said, $105,000 to buy, $5,355 to lease, $1,050 per day, and $22.05 per operating hour. Now, let's go ahead and go to tools, and let's go to mowers. And we've got the E025, sorry. This is the mower head, 5 meter working width and 10 miles per hour working speed. And it comes with, looks like it has an integrated, it's not an integrated trailer. It comes with a trailer with it. We've got a choice of rim color. Again, white, cream, or mustard. We're going to go with the cream. And the main color, we're going to go with brown. No other configuration options. Looks like we can change colors all we want. They are free of charge. $15,000 to buy, $765 to initial lease, $150 per day, and $315 per operating hour. So let's go ahead and get one of those. Now let's go to Tedders, and we've got the E318 Tedder head option for $12,000. It is pretty darn cheap compared to the Fantex 604 at $11,000. Now it does have a working width of 6 meters compared to just 3 meters. But what you could do is you could haul this off to the field with your mower and basically get your mowing and tedding done in one quick trip. Both have the same 11 miles per hour working speed. Let's go ahead on in here, and we have the same color options of blue, brown, or green. We're going to go ahead and go with the brown. $12,000 to buy, as I said, $612 to lease, $120 per day, and $252 per operating hour. And we're not done yet, folks. We still have to get the windrower. Then we have a windrower header for the E318 for, again, $12,000, 11 miles per hour working speed, and 3 meter working width. Interesting, it has a horsepower requirement, even though the only thing you can use it on is the self-propelled unit. It comes in blue, brown, and guess what? Green again. Thankfully, we can change our colors without having to pay anything. And it is $612 to lease, $120 per day, and $252 per operating hour. So now that we've got the full setup here, let's go ahead and take a closer look at all of them. Look at this mod. This mod looks really, really nice. I like the detail on the engine all the way down to, wish I could zoom in, all the way down to the engine plate on there. Really cool decals on there and everything. We got a gauge I don't know if that's like the fuel gauge or an oil pressure gauge or something. Really, really cool. Oh, what was that? Well, check that out. When you get in it, the door slides open and closed. Pretty cool deal there. Let's check the F1 menu. Really cool animations there on the steering arm. Oh, it's an integrated trailer. Sweet. I was thinking it looked like it was a trailer. It was just a trailer that you would pull off of, but when I couldn't back off of it, you unfold it and the trailer just vanishes. A little interesting, but still kind of cool. Let's lower the head down and turn on the mower. We've got reciprocating blades like we do on the headers now of the harvester. Look at the moving parts on the side here. Got a rotating PTO shaft that we can see. Look at this. That's pretty. Pretty sweet. Animated alternator running there. Anything else going on in the engine? We have some belts animated, and we've got a radiator fan running. Pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to go over here, and right down the hill I've got a... Actually, unfold that. Disconnect. And let's pick up the tedder head. I've got some grass down the hill here. We're going to go ahead and get this stuff moved down the hill, and then I'll be right back with you. I want to see this stuff work. So guys, we're just running this down here to the small grass area, and I noticed that the side plate here swivels. That's pretty cool. And I was also checking out the suspension and the articulation of the rear steering arm as we go over bumps and such. That was pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get this thing hooked up. But before we do, let's take a look inside. I've got my head tracking now on, and do have light up gauges. Listen to that sound. And we do have animated gauges. The pedals move. Well, not a lot going on in here other than those controls. Alright, so let's go ahead and hook up to the mower deck. See how all this works. So unfold that. And we'll turn it on, lower it down. Low some grass. Back on the middle a whole lot, and I'm going to check the turning radius. That was a full turn from straight to lock. Pretty good tight turning radius and everything. Let's go ahead and hook up the tedder unit, which was the first one we brought down here. So the tedder unit does not have a side plate. So it just has a pickup and an auger out the side, okay? Go ahead and drop it down here and just see how it works. So it shoots the grass and now the hay out the side. So if you were going to use this particular implement and use courseplay to do all the work, you're going to need to basically, for the windrower, you're going to need to work with an offset, because this thing is going to shoot the product off to the side, and then if you come to follow this around with it, you're going to need to use an offset. I should mention that this mod is available for all platforms. Failed to mention that in the other videos, but they were all Giants mods, so we can only just assume they are, of course, for all platforms. So we'll go ahead and turn this on. I'm going to now mow in reverse. Unfold it so the end plate slides out. Let's turn it on. And I'm going to now windrow the product back toward the middle. So this tight turning radius is going to come in handy. Alright guys, that is pretty cool. Now let's go ahead and check the headlights. We've got first stage lights, reverse work lights, top stage lights, and then we seem to have another fourth stage of high beams or bright lights. We've got a beacon. You have four ways, front and rear, left and right blinkers. No reverse lights, but we do have brake lights. And a pretty cool engine off sound. Guys, that is a pretty cool mod. It's a Shrit E303 self-propelled mower, which includes a windrower header, a tedder header, and a mower header, which has an integrated trailer with it. That is pretty darn cool. Again, it is by AAA Modding and is for all platforms. Next up, we've got the Joskin Modulo 2. This is a slurry applicator. So if we go to Tools, and then we come over here to Slurry Tanks, scrolling over here, got the Joskin Modulo 2. Now this differs from the in-game Joskin. We're going to take a look at that. The in-game Joskin is $62,500, 150 horsepower, 17,780 liters. Has a 12 meter working width, 10 mile per hour speed, and is stink water and digestate, or slurry and digestate. So let's compare that to the mod version, $61,385. So it is slightly cheaper. $15,785, holds stink water and digestate, 150 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour, 150 horsepower, 10 miles per hour, and 12 meter working width. But we do have a heck of a lot of configuration options on this thing. Wow. Now I should mention this mod is for PC only. Change the rim colors. Whatever we want. We can change the main color. Main color is currently red, which is the pump there and the rear housing. So if we change that to JCB, is it also the underframe? Is also the underframe, and the design color is the color here on the drop hoses. Change that to far green. You can see it changes there on the drop hoses. There were choice of tires between Trelleborg and standard. Y tires. Multiple sets of Y tires here. We have Michelin standard, Y tires, And then we have Nokian standard and wide tires. We also have the design Joskin. We have Joskin green. We have the Garrett Cote. That is kind of a galvanized metal look. Staple, galvanized metal look. And back to Joskin. Then we have with loading arm and frame. Or without loading arm and frame. With load arm, without frame, I suppose. And then without loading arm, with frame. And the frame is just this top piece. Then we have with loading arm, with frame. So again, we have without loading arm and without frame. With loading arm up here, no frame. We have no loading arm and frame. And then we have with loading arm and frame. So let's go ahead and get one of these. And let's get back to the base prices so we can look at get out of here. Let's get back in. Let's go ahead and look here at the pricing again. $61,635 to actually purchase because it appears we're getting charged for rim color and design color no matter what we pick. $3,143 to lease, $612 per day, and $1,294 per operating hour. So here we are. I think this is a pretty interesting use of enhancing an in-game mod. Gives it lots of color options, a couple of different style options, and brand options. And I suspect the reason that this is PC only is because of the brand options you've got available there. Let's go ahead and hook up and see if we get hoses. We do have hose hookups on this one. We didn't have hose hookups on the Giants mods, but at least we got them on this one. Go ahead and unfold. Oh, so we can left mouse and left and right, and we can raise and lower the pickup hose. So we can bring it over to the slurry area, and we can lower this down to pretend that we are siphoning out the product. It's pretty cool. Lower it. And unlike the version from 17, that basically as soon as you dropped it, it started. You have to hit B to turn on this one. Out of here and see if we can't turn it on because we don't have any product in it. Here we've got reverse lights. You have brake lights, both on the boom and on the trailer. Left and right flanks, 4 ways. Pretty cool deal. This mod is by Luca. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next mod, which is also by Luca and Gamer8250. This is the Krone rear weight. This is a rear weight for the Krone Big X line of forage harvesters. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. If we go to tools and then weights, we've got the Krone back weight, 1,800 kilograms. Includes a rear hitch, $550 to buy, $28 to lease, $5 per day, and $11 per hour. There are no other configuration options on this, so let's go ahead and get that, and let's get the forage harvester. Let's get the Krone forage harvester. Krone forage harvester does have a rear hitch, Okay. And hose hookups. But don't need to look at the choices on those. Let's go ahead and hook up to this. See if it attaches. Does indeed. Let's hook up to the, let's just see something. Let's hook up to the big one. And let's disconnect the weight first. And hook up to this. And it doesn't look overly light in the rear. We do get a little bit of a rear up and down motion when I raise and lower the head, but now with the rear weight connected, I raise and lower the head. You get the same undulation, which you'd expect because that's a fair amount of weight being shifted direction there. Let's see if we can hook up to different trailers. Let's say the Krone trailer here. And let's try the Field Liner trailer. No, nothing. Let's try this trailer. Nothing. Is the hitch useless? Let's pop that off. Nothing. What is going on here? Nope, no option at all. Let's see here. I mean, they all have the ball hitch. I mean, it isn't until we get fairly a good ways down the product line that we get a pin hitch. And we don't get a pin hitch until we get to this little trailer. What good is hooking up to that? But at any rate, it would be nice if this also allowed you to hook up to things that you couldn't hook up to with the in-game Krone hitch. Up to that, but we can hook up to this. Doesn't let us. That is the Krone rear weight from Luca and Gamer 8250. And again, that is available for all platforms. So once again, we're going to go ahead and clear this stuff out of here and get set up for the next one. So the next few mods we're going to look at are going to go fairly quick because they are all attachment mods for wheel loaders, front loaders, or telehandlers. Now, I'm not belittling these in any way because I know I couldn't have put them together, but there's only so much that we're going to be able to talk about. So first up, we're going to look at the Sutton High Force Fork with Hardox by 4D Modding, and it is in the wheel loader section. Let's go ahead and go to Tools and Wheel Loaders, and we have the Sutton Silage Fork right here. If this mod is for PC only. Nice looking mod. We do have a color choice for the fork. Go ahead and go back to a nice neutral brown. Like how we've got the Sutton there cut out of the steel plate. This is $3,800 to purchase, $193 to lease, $38 per day, and $79 per operating hour. We're going to go ahead and also get a wheel loader just for sake of connecting it. This wheel loader, let's see here, does it tell you? I think I saw. Does it tell you the capacity? This particular wheel loader holds 6,650 liters of product. Let's compare that to the in-game Silage Fork, which only holds 5,000 liters of product, and the bucket, which holds just 3,000 liters of product. Be able to get a lot more done with this particular fork than you can with the in-game options. It's not overly big compared to the in-game option, which is really long, wide. This one is more tall and narrow. Width of the wheel loader. Sticks to it very well. Sometimes you get implement attachments that when you move the arms up and down, the implement doesn't move with it very well. There's a very little lag that's visually seen here, where the implement is not quite moving with the front loader, but it is very, very minimal. Again, that is the Sutton High Force Fork with Hardock by 4D Modding. Find it again in the wheel loader section. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next mod, which is also for, here it is, for wheel loaders. It is the wheel loader bale fork by Ars Technic Nordfile. Let's go ahead and take a look here at wheel loaders. You can see the Self-Made Tools bale fork, $1,500. Nice and cheap for sure. $76 to lease, $15 per day, and $31 per operating hour. There are no configuration options on this. This particular mod is for all platforms, PC and console. Go ahead and spin on around here. We do have some square bales off here to the side. Let's check, move up and down. Again, there is very minimal lag with respect to the movements. This particular fork has lots of spikes to definitely grab bales. Let's see how many we can get. We've got a stack of 4 over here. And we've got a round bale hidden in the back. So let's move this bale out of here, out of the way. One bale holds on there very nice, even when it's barely in. It's good to see. It slid out well. It didn't want to stick. Three bales fits on there real well. Of course, I'm not on there super square. Let's see if we can get lined up to do 4, because we're going to use, I think we've got a couple other bale forks we're going to look at, and we can use this also with them. Not a big fan of these articulated machinery to begin with. This makes getting lined up on things a little bit more difficult, in my opinion. Oh no. That's me trying to rush around more than anything else, everybody. Let me get these lined up and I'll be right back with you. So we've got that little mess straightened up now, and now we're going to go be able to come in here on all 4 bales. We can indeed spear 4 bales at once. Well, we actually have 3 bales speared, and the top bale is sitting up there all by itself. Let's go ahead and we'll have a high tilt back capability with the wheel loader, but that is more of issue with the tool, the vehicle, than the actual attachment. Holds those bales on there fairly well. Drop it down here. So guys, that again is the wheel loader bale fork, the self-made variety by the mod author Agritechnic Nordfile, and it is available for all platforms. So we've got one more mod that is by Agritechnic Nordfile again. That is also for wheel loaders. It is a silage fork, a second silage fork this week. It is the Flegel silage fork, $12,200. Wowzers, that is expensive. Let's take a look at the in-game silage fork, $4,100. The Sutton silage fork, which we just looked at, $3,800. And then the Flegel, $12,200. Is quite a bit more, 3 times more than the in-game silage fork, basically. Holds 6,250 liters. The Sutton holds 6,650 liters, and of course the in-game one only holds 5,000 liters. There are no configuration options on this, but it does have some hydraulics going on because, once again, this is one of those shorter, wider forks. Visually, it looks really nice. Got lots of Flegel stickers all over this thing. My gosh, they don't want you to not know that this is not a Flegel fork, for sure. Go ahead and get this thing out here. Take a look at it. The price. It is... wow. Gotta really want this fork. So we do have hydraulics on the fork, but nothing visually connecting the fork to the implement as far as hydraulics go. So I don't think it is. Let's see. No, we just have the connectors there, nothing actually connecting it. Fold for travel. I wonder if you could stab a bale with this configuration. Fold it up. So you could probably grab 2 bales at least. Grab bales that way. Of course, you could grab bales unfolded too. They were side by side and everything. I mean, visually it looks really nice, but seriously, what is up with the price? $12,000 compared to the other options that are basically a third of the price. Let's go ahead and put this over here. Again, this is a silage fork by Agritechnic Nordfile, and it is available for all platforms. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next mod, which is another bale fork. Is the Lizard bale fork. It is a 3-point hitch bale fork. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get a tractor. And I believe the next one that we're going to look at is going to need a front loader attachment. Go ahead and get that too. So guys, sometimes I really don't like having baling technology as being this catch-all because it's the last place I end up looking. And that's where it was. The last place I ended up looking was baling technology for the next two mods, actually, that we're going to look at. The Lizard Bale Fork and the Fleagle Bale Fork. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Lizard Bale Fork. It is for round bales. It is a 3-point hitch variety. Change the color options on these. And we can get it for $400. Base price, $20 to lease, $4 per day, $8 per operating hour. This thing is dirt cheap for sure, and is probably something that you may not actually end up buying, simply because, well, the lease is so cheap. If you only had this hooked up when you actually used it, you'd need to go basically 100 game days before you would have the leasing cost charges be the same as your purchase price. All right. Let's go ahead and get lined up on this. The way this works is we just come back. We hit V to lower our 3-point hitch. We hit V to raise it up. Off we go. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You put this on the front or the back, depending on if you have a 3-point hitch on the front or the back. This mod is by Studitrol Modding. Put it obviously on the screen so everybody can see. And it is available for all platforms. So, yep, that you can haul off 2 bales this way. I do not have the ability to go up and down to tilt it. That might be a limitation of the tractor, more so of a limitation of this particular fork. And the next one we're going to look at is the Fleagle Combi Duplex Bale Fork. It is by LS Mod Source CZ and Modder ROLF. It's available for all platforms. Let's go ahead and hook up our front loader arms. And again, if we go to Baling Technologies, we'll find it here. It is $900 to purchase, $45 per day, or $45 to lease, $9 per day, and $18 per operating hour. We have the choice of front loader, wheel loader, or telehandler as our options for connections. That is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do front loader since we are already configured and set up for that. Comes in a nice galvanized steel look here. Very robust looking. Looks like ideally this is going to be set up to handle 3 bales at a time as opposed to 4. Let's come in here. So we don't have a rear weight. Let's get a rear weight. And we can assess how well this fork either does or does not stick to the various bales. There we go. There we go. We got enough junk in the trunk now to pick these things up. Stab on this, pull it up. This is only bale spikes in the bottom 2 bales, at least the top bale, to just balance between those 2 narrow uprights. It might have better performance if those uprights were a little bit wider. It does appear though to be fairly stable. We are making a fairly tight turn at a decent speed. We put this down, back out. Very smooth action going in and out. Not a bad little set of bale forks if you're looking for a Flegel variety. Now I should mention that the Lizard, or that the Sutton Silage Fork there is also available in other configurations. See it here under telehandlers also. So it's not like the bale fork that we just looked at where you can select the attacher you want. We have a Sutton Silage Fork in the telehandler section and a Sutton Silage Fork here in the wheel loader section. And while we're up here to telehandlers, let's go ahead and look at the last attachment mod that we're going to look at this week. It is the BioBelts Lightweight Bucket by Toxic Ohm. We can change the color on this, main color, and we can change the design color. Design color is the mesh here and the edge plate. You can have it for telehandler or wheel loader. We're going to go ahead and do telehandler, and we're going to do one for wheel loader. This particular bucket holds capacity of 7,900 liters. Quite the capacity on this. $5,000 to purchase in wheel loader variety and telehandler variety. $255 to lease, $50 per day, and $105 per operating hour. Before we get the telehandler out, let's get this wheel loader. And go ahead and take a look at the wheel loader variant of the bucket. And what I want to show you is I really feel that the bucket is oversized for a telehandler. It just looks disproportionate. I mean, for a wheel loader, it looks right. I mean, wheel loaders are big, so it should have a big bucket. But for a telehandler, it just looks way, way oversized. Once again, it sticks very well to the attachment joint. It doesn't float. There isn't a huge delay. There isn't actually any delay that's perceived on this attachment. Fits in well. Now let's go ahead and pull up a telehandler and just take a look at how huge this thing just looks with telehandlers. So let's go ahead and get the Massey Ferguson one. And just look at it beside it. Oh my gosh. Bucket just looks huge already beside it, in my opinion. Look at this. I mean, this is massive. Massive bucket compared to this telehandler. It just looks like a joke. I'm sorry. It's just too big. I mean, I get it. It's really cool that we're going to be able to move lots of material. Now we got to move lightweight material. We're not going to be moving 7,000 liters of silage with this thing. It's intended to move light material, like 7,000 liters of straw or hay or something like that. So once again, it is the BioBelts Z lightweight bucket for telehandlers and wheel loaders. Has a capacity of 7,900 liters and is by Toxic Ohm. So that should conclude the attachments section of this video, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the last three implements to have in our video today, and then we're going to basically call it a wraps for part one of this week's weekend roundup. That's right, we're going to have two parts to this week's video, simply because we still have a flurry of placeables to talk about. So next up, we've got the BVT T-Rex cultivator by Agritechnic Nordfile, and this is also a PC only mod. So if we go to tools and then cultivators, we scroll away over here. We've got the BVT, the BVT T-Rex, $28,000, 9 miles per hour working speed, 5.5 meter working width, 150 horsepower requirement. Now let's take a look and compare it with some of the other in-game cultivators. We've got the Cunha VB L300 for $16,000 at 3 meters. We've got the Horsch Tiger 6 DT at 6 meters. We've got the Stara that is a cultivator and a seeder that is at 4.9 meters. So this particular mod seems to fall in between the Horsch and the Stara, right there in line with the price as well. So if we take a look at it, there are no configuration options on this one. Got $28,000 to buy, $1,428 to lease, $280 per day, and $588 per operating hour. Go ahead and get one of these. See that it does indeed fold up. I'm wondering if we're going to have hose hookups. We do have some hoses here, although it doesn't look like... well, I guess they are just sitting in a little rack there. That's pretty cool. Go ahead and get in our case Maxim. Attached to that, we do indeed have hose hookups. We do need a front weight on this. Let's go ahead and get that weight again. I went ahead and sold that off. Oh, this thing is heavy. Heavy indeed. The weight is heavy also, but that should counterbalance this for sure. There we go. Fold her on up. And let's drive it down here to a field and just see how it handles. Go down here to the cornfield. We've got it kind of tore up from previous videos we have done. So let's go ahead and fold this. Drop it down and give her a run. Nice dirt animations there. We got spinning discs. The rear compactors, or whatever we want to call those, are spinning very nicely. You have brake lights, no reverse lights. We have flashers, left and right blinkers on there. Very cool indeed. We are indeed going at 150 or 9 miles per hour. Do have a tractor here that does have just over 150 horsepower. Again, that is the BVT T-Rex. It is a PC only mod and is by Agritechnic Nordfile. Drop this back down. Down. We're going to go ahead and just hire this guy off to do a little bit of cultivation here. We're going to run back up to the shop and take a look at our next mod. Next up, we've got the Adjurant. I should have practiced pronouncing this thing ahead of time. We have the Adjurante pack. It is a trailer pack by DD Mod Passion, and it is for all platforms. So if we go to trailers and we scroll over here, we're going to find all of the mods here except for one. And again, it is because we've got a split with baling technology. We've got some bale trailers over here that are also a part of the pack. in baling technology. So let's run back here to tools and trailers, and we'll take a look at all of the different trailers that are part of this pack. So first up, we've got the 200A without sides. Well, clearly it does have sides. It is a basically a container trailer. Holds 45,000 liters, $30 per day, and we have our choices of wheel brands: Michelin or Trelleborg. Tires, it's $35,000, $1,785 to lease, $350 per day, and $735 per operating hour. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get one of those so we can see what she looks like. Then we've got the 200A with 4 sides. It is $45,000, 45,000 liters, $30 per day. Holds all of the in-game standard fill types, as does the first trailer. Again, we have the choice of Michelin and Trelleborg tires. Those are the only configuration options. I do like how we've got chains and a bar across the top to keep the top from spreading as a result of the weight of the fill types. Go ahead and lease one of those. Oops. And then we've got a 3-sided variant that only holds $35,000. Basically, one of the panels is down. Again, Michelin and Trelleborg tires, $40,000 to buy, $2,040 to lease, $400 per day, and $840 per operating hour. Now, I have to say, I don't really understand why we would have... I could see why we would have maybe this particular trailer in one configuration, and then these 2 trailers in one configuration. That would make more sense to me, that we could buy this trailer and basically configure it. Do we want it to have 3 sides, or do we want it to have 4 sides, or do we want it to have 0 sides for the flatbeds? That would kind of make some sense to me personally, to have a trailer that did that, as opposed to basically having 3 different configurations for tipper trailers. Now, there's something else that I forgot to mention, is over here under forestry, there is a wood transportation. There is a forestry or a log variant, which is basically the trailer with no sides, but has the stanchions here to basically have the sides added to it. Again, it is Michelin or Trelleborg tires. Now, this says 200 pieces. No way you're getting 200 logs on there. Not really sure where that comes from. $15,000 to buy this, $765 per day, $150 to lease per day, and $315 per operating hour. Again, I'm not really sure why this couldn't just be a configuration option. Basically get it with no sides, 1, 2, 3, or 4 panels actually. Get it with a little low panel, maybe 2 panels, 3 panels, and 4 panels. That would be rather interesting. And then let's go to baling technology and take a look at these. So we've got a bale for round bales and a trailer for square bales. And that is because these trailers have an auto load functionality to them. And we have Michelin and Trelleborg tire options, $10,000 to buy, $510 to lease, $100 per day, and $210 per operating hour. And it listed as holding 36 bales for the round bale version and 24 bales for the square bale version. So again, exact same, except we have Trelleborg and Michelin again. Same prices, $10,000, $510, $100, and $210. Let's go ahead and lease one with the Trelleborg tires just for a frame of comparison. So I could see where maybe these 2 trailers have to be different because they have that added functionality of auto load. But these, as far as I can tell, are just a difference in capacity and basically configuration. Nothing special related to them. Does this one have straps? Let's get a tractor and we'll hook up to it and find out, won't we? Go ahead and get Massey Ferguson. and jump on in. Let's see if the log trailer has straps or not. You have hose hookups. It's cool. We do indeed have straps. So I would think that that would just be an XML configuration and maybe some nodes in the model. But again, I'm not a modder, so I'm not really sure. But I could see where that would be just a configuration option. So let's take a look. We got the mud flaps are animated, which is pretty cool. Now my backup speed has been greatly reduced. I'll take a look at that. We've got some scripting going on here because I've got maximum reverse speed of 4. Okay. I can increase the maximum reversing speed up to 14 miles per hour. A and M will change my maximum reversing speed. It's rather interesting. It could help you with your trailer reversing for sure, given the fact that this is a dolly trailer. So do these trailers have anything fancy like that? Well, this one does indeed also have maximum reversing speed. Well, it also has tension belts. So yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to just have these trailers with sides or without sides to just be a configuration option. Let's go ahead and do a force unload. See how this thing opens up. The rear door opens and then it basically starts to tip. Got 2 hydraulic rams in there. Tips up quite a bit. All right, let's go on over here and give these bale trailers a go. We're gonna buy some bales and see how this thing loads up. First off, let's figure out which one we've got here. Operating position B. Bale type not supported, so this must be for the round bales. Let's just see. Yes, it is. So let's go ahead and buy some round bales. Buy some straw. 8, 16, 24. And see how they load up here. Oh, whoa, we can get another whole row. Yeah, because this thing said 36, didn't it? Three more, so let's go ahead and buy 3 more. That is a stack indeed. Let's go ahead and do unload bales. Unload here. And then we'll strap them down. You definitely see when the weight came down on these bales, they okay, so something interesting is going on here. We better unstrap these before this bale trailer like goes orbital. Go ahead and go into operating position and pick these bales up. So, all right, yeah, there might be something going on with the round bales in transport position. I'd say if you're going to use this trailer for now, until it's maybe updated, use it in operating position till you get to your destination, and then I guess unload it, but don't try to drive around with them. Because bad things seem to happen to good people. We seem to have lost some bales. I think we've... oh, they're over here. Okay. I see two over here. Maybe the train, like, took one out. We'll probably find a bale somewhere. One day, in a random mod review, we'll find a random round bale just sitting somewhere. Oh, there it is over there. By the house. Alright, now it doesn't look like we can change our loading position. If we want to go to unload, it doesn't look like we can change where it goes or anything. We just unload here. And it will unload there. But yeah, I don't think we want to be driving around in an unloaded transport position. So let's go ahead and get some square bales. 8, 16, let's get 5. Should be plenty. We'll go to operating position. There we go, we got one extra. So we go 4 high. And let's try this once again. Let's go to unload bales, Y. Unload bales here, Y again. They drop down. Let's strap them down. And let's give it a little bit of drive and just see what happens again. And, well, okay. So, yeah, the trailer here is a little bit top heavy, it appears. Alright. And let's load them back up. So again, this might be a trailer you want to drive around in transport position as opposed to unloaded. Because it appears that one, they're maybe a bit top heavy. And 2, well, we just had them fall out of the straps completely. Well, we better unload. We better unstrap these, and then they just explode. Okay. All right. Yeah, something's going on there. Now, I'm going to. Well, I'm gonna have to clean up this mess later. Let's go on to our last mod in this part of the roundup. It is the Agromatics Fertimax by Scurry Modding. It is a pull behind fertilizer spreader. Let's go ahead and go to fertilizer technology, and here it is. The Agromatics Fertimax, $9,000, 13 miles per hour working speed, 24 meter working width, and 2,500 liter capacity. Now let's compare that to the Kuhn at a whole $20,000. Holds 3,200 liters, 12 mile per hour working width, and again, 24 meter working width. Now, one thing, since this is a towed trailer, we're not going to have as much weight on the rear of the tractor. So we won't have to necessarily have such a big weight on the front. We do have one configuration choice between standard and wide tired wheels. Go ahead and go with standard wheels. It's $9,000 again to buy, $459 to lease, $90 per day, and $189 to operate per hour. Now, I really enjoyed using this particular mod in 17 when it came out. I was really happy when it came out because I felt it worked really good with a couple maps and a couple different play styles that I wanted to do. I wanted to do a kind of a smaller scale stuff, and I thought that the Cunha was kind of big, and the Amazon 3-point spreader was kind of big, and I liked this thing because it was fairly small. Now, I would say the biggest problem with this particular spreader is that it tends to jackknife on you pretty darn quick. Uh-oh. Does this not do lime? Uh-oh, I thought this did lime. No, it only does, darn it, only does liquid or solid fertilizer. Go ahead and get a couple of these. I was hoping this did lime also. Good, load up. And let's head on down to that field where we left the cultivator. We do have a hose hookup for electric and PTO. The electric is for our lights. We have brake lights, and we have our 4-ways, left and right blinkers. Of course, the PTO hookup is for the spreading action. And this mod is for all platforms. Oh, you didn't seem to do too much of a field, dude. I wanted to have this whole field nice and cultivated. So it's going on that. And let's just see how this works. The field probably doesn't need fertilizing, so oh good, we are getting a fertilized texture down. Nice wide spread for such a small and cheap implement. See this being a must-go-to mod for anyone starting out in a gameplay mode where you are trying to pinch and squeeze on your money. Pulls very good. Doesn't bounce around. It's not all over the place. Very nice indeed. So guys, that is the end of the first part of this week's mod weekend roundup. We have covered all the vehicles and implements and tools released this week. And we had 26 mods released, either new or updated, and 2 maps. Come back for part 2. Which will basically cover all of the placeables, and I don't think there were any scripts. It's basically going to cover all of the placeable mods that were released this week. Until next time, happy farming.